Welcome, Half-Bloods, to, not actually a special edition of the Half-Blood Pod, but one I'm excited for. William, last week we actually did the saddest moments in Harry Potter history, and that hasn't actually posted yet. It will actually go live tomorrow, so I have no feedback on how that went, but we're going to do the flip side of that today and talk about the happiest moments, but I can't tell you how anyone's reacted yet. We'll have to do that next week, but we are getting a second round of reaction. Our social media video today, William, was you calling out the world to come argue why Darth Vader would beat Voldemort in a fight. And William, I have to say, we posted that this morning, and we have no less than 50 comments continuing to say that you are wrong. And it's pretty exciting.
I would love to hear it. I feel like people will misrepresent this as like thinking I think like Jedi are weak or something. I don't actually understand. I promise you I understand. But yeah, I would love to hear. I know Hunter volunteered as tribute.
Should we just have Hunter on? Yeah, so that you don't
Yeah, Hunter can come on. I don't mind
get arrested.
I want all comers. I want multiple viewpoints on this. Anytime. Hunter's always welcome.
I feel like if we do this, it's got to be like a little bit organized of like, okay, William, 3 minutes on why Voldemort's great. Okay, rebuttal. Now, Hunter, 3 minutes on why Darth Vader's great. Rebuttal. And then, 5 minutes on
You're such a nerd. You're such a nerd.
I'm just saying we can't just come on and yell at each other, okay? We can't just have that. That's all I'm saying.
Sounds like a great podcast to me.
You're right. I don't know what I'm thinking.
No, it does need to have some kind of structure. I don't know about like 3 minutes. Although that's what they do like on the Midnight Boys when they do their midnight court thing.
I feel like you have to, or it's just going to be yelling over each other.
But then they just yell at each other anyway. So,
which is what I'll be planning for as the mediator.
There's like you time for like a minute each, and then you just yell at each other anyway. But you allow like 1 minute uninterrupted. Like
exactly.
This is what I think. This is my position.
I feel like this has got to be real court, and you guys have to submit different items into evidence and just allow each other to be prepared. I feel like that's really what we need. And then we need to establish ground rules, right? Like what can a lightsaber do? And, what can the Force do? And you just have to we have to logic and reason this out, which I thought was probably the best comment of someone just quoting, because you said, I don't know if you remember, if I could get someone in a room, I will logic and reason them to, till they are on my side.
Yeah, I was being facetious. I've spent enough time with people to know that you cannot convince them of a viewpoint.
That's a fact. And the best comment to me was like logic and reason about two fantasy characters that is completely subjective.
Obviously.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yes.
No, I have no illusions that I can actually change anyone's mind, but I think people are not remotely like understanding like the power scope of like Voldemort or Dumbledore, like what they can do.
I feel like there's a lot of Voldemort hate out there. And I feel like if we switched it to Dumbledore, it would change some people, because then no one's allowed to say he lost to a high schooler 17 times and he couldn't even take over a local school while Vader took over universes. So I feel like Dumbledore would just get rid of some of that garbage.
Did he?
No, he didn't. He was a pawn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll leave that be until I have a lot of thoughts, but we will bring it on. Hunter, come on. I think it'd be fun to have multiple people. I'll make it a series.
Yeah, I'm in. It could be our new. Well, it can't
and then
be short.
At the end, I'll just declare myself King of the Universe winner, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says.
Someone else in a screenshot that said AI says, "Well, Darth Vader," so that's obvious. And in the screenshot that they sent, it literally just says
to think the other way.
It literally just says fans seem to lean this way, and it was like your fans and AI agree. I was like, no, AI agrees with the fans. That's cheating. Anyways,
yeah.
You should get social media.
AI doesn't have original thoughts.
No, you don't. My other, since there is no Witch Weekly, my other thing is that we shipped another 6 boxes full of games to Amazon. So, if you're unaware, we have the much-needed book-only Ultimate Unofficial Harry Potter Trivia
game. Has that been selling that well on Amazon? Or
William, I've been whining a lot about slow sales, but maybe the shout-out needs to go to Hogwarts. I sent a game to Hogwarts, the guy who gave us content for why he said The Order of Phoenix is the worst book in Harry Potter. I sent one to him. He made a glowing video of it, a wonderful review on Instagram. And, I'm going to give him some of the credit. But, yeah, we sold, enough games last week that sent 6 more boxes off. So pretty exciting. Shout
It
out
is exciting.
Hogwarts. By the time this posts, William, the World Cup will be over. But do you have any predictions? That's my last current event that I would like to bring up.
Yeah, the A's. The A's are gonna win. Mbappe, Olise, Dembele, Doué.
Is
They're gonna
this
win.
is this World Cup more fixed than a Quidditch game officiated by Severus Snape?
Way less so.
There's
I I
a
think
lot of stuff, a lot of
people
discourse.
still I still think people, like, greatly underestimate, like, the random chance of everything. Like, and I'll be honest, like, people say that ball hit the wire. I believe them. 'Em. I'm literally trying to see it. Like, I don't see what everyone's like, "It's so obvious." I'm like, I'm literally blind and stupid. I can't see it. Like they zoom in and it's all pixelated. I'm like, I'm looking for it. I don't see where it, like, all of a sudden, like, dives. Like, I don't know. I don't even, like, feel like, because if it did, obviously Norway got hosed. But my point is that, like, so much of that stuff is random chance, and, like, they're just pouncing on every opportunity to screw one team. Like, no, probably not. Um,
What about
that
the messy
said,
no calls? What about the messy no calls?
I mean, that's not even, like, a surprise though. Like, that's, like,
Just
100%,
because it's
like,
not a surprise, it's not a surprise when Snape called every foul on Gryffindor. It still happened, and it's still disgusting.
right. Yeah. I don't I mean, Argentina was gonna win that game either way, but
Were they going to beat
yeah,
Egypt either
I don't
way?
know. I mean, I think, at the end of the day, France is gonna win the World Cup, and they're clearly the best team, and, like, you know, if Argentina gets, like, a bunch of dubious penalties in the final, then let's talk. But, I honestly, I thought the Egypt thing, like, philosophically, I'm not for it. I don't think they should, like, call it back, but, like, as the rules are set up now, it probably was a foul, so logically, it made
As the
sense for their
rules,
flawed system. I don't agree with him doing operating that way, but, like, it was
as the
logic.
rules are set up now, sounds like someone following Fudge's regime with Dolores Umbridge of, well, these are the rules, and so I must follow them.
No, I'm not. They should definitely change. They should definitely, like, and because 'cause they're not consistently applied anyway, so, like, why bother, you know?
There you go.
It
There you
was,
go.
yeah. I don't but, like, yes, I Egypt, Norway took it like men. Norway didn't, like, Norway's like, "Hey, we lost." Like, it's not why we lost. Like, they said that. Egypt are cowards. I'm calling out the Egyptian coach. He's a coward because he just lost his mind and pretended like the whole world conspired to lose. Like, no, your team choked like a dog. They choked like my Spurs. Facts. They
R.I.P.
just did. Now I'm probably going to be, like, assassinated for saying something like that. I don't know. Someone's probably going to think it's like a hate crime or something. But
You're
Egypt,
in
don't blow a
Egypt.
2-0 lead. You had 11 minutes left and you blew a 2-0 lead. That's your fault. It's not the ref's fault.
William, I think you can no longer visit Egypt, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I was going to go visit Bill and check out the pyramids, but
Exactly.
oh
I
well.
The pyramids, I feel like, should be on my list of, like, things I wanna do, but they're actually not. Should they be? Like, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I've seen the pyramids in Mexico. They were sick. So
Alright. I'll
they're,
start
like,
there.
almost as big.
I'll start there.
And they're just as impressive. And Mexico has better beaches, so and better tacos. So
Good
so
call.
what's not to like?
Um, William, the trivia of the week and just some last week, not corrections, just shout outs, both come from the same reading, where I am reading the 5th book. We're basically, in the 5th book where Arthur's been attacked. That's what I'm reading with my kids right now, and I'm also
Yeah.
listening to the 6th book, finally, going through the full cast audio, and I just gotta say that at the beginning of the 6th book, I think this is an honorable mention that should have been mentioned as a saddest moment. I don't know. It's probably didn't belong on the list, actually. This would be number 25 on my very long list, but Harry's on the train, and he gets on with Luna and Neville, and they're asking about the DA, and Luna's like, "Oh, I like the DA. It was almost like having friends." And that's immediately followed with Neville being like, I bet my grand wishes she was your grandson." And just those things back to back, and then Harry just sitting and thinking about Neville's life. And again, Luna, this is like the 3rd time she said something like really sad. I don't know. It got me a little bit. So I just wanted to call that out. Maybe could have made.
That is a good
It
one.
wasn't
That one's
going to
played
sniff top
it's
10.
sad, but it's definitely played for laughs. It was almost like having friends.
It's not
Um,
funny. And then, especially when you've already seen her painting in her bedroom, these people don't even like her, and she's painting them on her bedroom because they're the only thing that's ever come close to friendship for her. It's very sad. You're right, though. And then I think this is in our top 10. The Neville hospital scene, I read that out loud with my children, and it was very emotional, and it was very well picked. I can't remember if it was that you actually put that in the top 10 or if it was an honorable mention,
I
but
think I did.
it's an
No, I
I
put it in
think
there,
it's
I'm pretty sure.
actual top
I
10.
listed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't know. I
here
listed that one as one of my picks.
it was a great
I was
one.
proud of those picks. I think I did well in
I think you did too.
the
It made
made
me
up
excited for this one
contest
because
in my head. I think I did well.
I think you did too. Thank you for going again, a little less chalk, right? Of just picking 7 deaths. You did great. And again, also our trivia comes from this reading here in the 5th book. This is submitted by our own Cassie Hyatt, editor of this podcast and wife of me. While we were reading, she was like, "Do you think William can answer that?" And my answer every time someone asks me that, because I get asked that all the time, is yes, I believe he can answer that. But here's the question, William. While
So
in St. Mungo's, when Ron is accused of having spattergroit by a medieval portrait, what does the ancient healer say is the only remedy to get rid of these blemishes?
okay. "'Tis the most grievous affliction, young master." Um, I'm trying to think. Uh, "Stand naked in a barrel of eels." Uh, with
Yes.
trying to think through like uh oh my gosh, I love that. It's such a funny one too.
Yes, it is.
Um, dang it, dang it, dang it. Uh,
If this were a 4-point
uh,
question, you got 2 of them. I feel like there are 4 distinct points, but you have 2.
a toad liver bound on your throat,
Yes.
and a barrel of eel's eyes.
Yes.
Is it eyes? Is it
Yes, it is
eels
eyes.
or eel's eyes? Okay. And it's like during the full moon or something like that. It's like, "'Tis the most grievous affliction, young master." I can remember the voice of Jim Dale.
Yes.
uh, with
I could read it.
the
I feel like
toad
you got them
bound on
all.
your throat. Yeah. Read it.
Take the liver of a toad, bind it tight around your throat, stand naked by the full moon in a barrel of eel's eyes. I think you hit them all at some point in your
Yeah,
banquet
I feel
answer.
close enough to feel proud of
I
the
think
answer
you
no
hit them
matter
all.
what. So I'm fine with it.
I think we're giving
That's
you
a funny
correct.
one.
The
I
first thing I
also am
thought
gonna. I
of,
don't think that guy's. I don't think that's like actually the cure for spattergroit either. I think that's like
you don't think
how
that's
they used to
magic.
think leeches cured things. You know.
Ex-
I don't
That
think
was
that
the
guy
first
was
thing
a
I
good
thought of.
healer.
Yes. First thing I thought of was Pull Dark. That's Pull Dark? I don't know why I said that weird.
Old Dark.
And everyone just
It's
getting leeches
a
all over
show.
them. Yes.
Bad
And
blood. Cut it out.
the second thing I thought of was Zelda, when you have to stand naked on top of a hill on a full moon to open
On
up
Breath of
one
the
of
Wild.
the.
Yeah, the Blood
Yes.
Moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Can't
was a
go
great
full
one.
nude in that game though.
Unfortunately. Fortunately, you cannot.
Fortunately. Yeah.
William, congrats on nailing another trivia of the week. Again, submitted by maybe the biggest fan of this podcast, who spent more hours listening to this podcast. This is a fact. No
Than
one has
any
spent more
human
hours.
on earth.
Cassie Hyatt. So pretty amazing. And that's what I got for just random preamble stuff before we actually get to the crux of our podcast, which again is the top 10 happiest, greatest, most fist pumping moments in Harry Potter history. Do you think that is a fair characterization?
Happiest, just generally exciting, happy, satisfying, another synonym,
Satisfying is a good
you know.
word. I feel like only one of mine isn't an actual fist pump, but the rest are like, I could fist bump this. I could just Tiger Woods fist bump that, and I feel like it's appropriate. So, again, we didn't discuss ahead of time. We'll go every other and see what our top 10 ends up being, and then all the ones that were left off, we'll give an honorable mention, and then let the internet tell us what we missed. We ready?
Mhm.
I went first last time, so Do you want to go first this time?
I guess. Let's just do. I mean, like 1-1. It's you know Harry defeats Voldemort in the Battle of Hogwarts. It's the apex. It's the 1-1. Expelliarmus. They put their best hope to the heavens, and with the unerring skill of a seeker, he catches the wand. All that. So I don't have it in front of me to read, but
I obviously have it in front of me. Can I read just a little bit of it?
But yeah, for sure. That's 1-1 though. Like you get it out of the way.
Is. That is correct.
I wouldn't say that's my favorite moment, but
it is 1-1.
If I had to rank, I don't know, it's not my favorite moment. I think there's other ones that I enjoy more, maybe, but teach their own. That's all I mean by that. I know you're big on
I think it is my favorite moment.
Yeah, I'll say you're always your favorite moment in all of Marvel is definitely the portals, or
Yes, it is.
I can't even
my
argue
favorite
against that one.
It's similar
I don't know how
to
explain it. You're a climax guy. I'll just put it that way.
Similar to my favorite body. The favorite thing about my wife is shoulders to knees. The favorite thing about all of Marvel is from the time that Cap wields Thor's hammer to the time that Iron Man snaps his finger. I don't just give it all.
Yeah, there you go.
What else?
Read the snippet. Read the snippet.
And I just want to say I have read this snippet more than I've read almost any other snippet. Maybe there's some Book of Mormon verses that I've read more, but I've read the snippet so many times because every time someone asks me, how do you hate the movies? How is that possible? I go to this post where I read the most beautiful text that I could possibly imagine, and then I show them how the movie interpreted this into the saddest, most embarrassing scene in the history of movies.
Champagne Dragon Ball Z fight.
What? And it's the after that where no one even looks at Harry. Again, let me just, William, I want to take the time to read it, okay? It's going to be too long. This isn't good podcasting. I don't care. This is my favorite, verse in all of Harry Potter. Yes, verses in scripture, probably not. Anyways, one shivering second of silence, the shock of the moment suspended, and then the tumult broke around Harry as the screams and the cheers and the roars and the watchers rent the air. The fierce new sun dazzled the windows as they thundered towards him, and the first to reach him were Ron and Hermione, and it was their arms that were wrapped around him, their incomprehensible shouts that deafened him. Then Ginny, Neville, and Luna were there, and then all the Weasleys, and Hagrid, and Kingsley, and McGonagall, and Flitwick, and Sprout, and Harry could not hear a word that anyone was shouting, nor tell whose hands were seizing him, pulling him, trying to hug some part of him, hundreds of them pressing in, all of them determined to touch the boy who lived. I'm going to keep going. The reason it was over at last, skips a little bit. Harry was an indispensable part of their mingled outpourings of jubilation and mourning, of grief and celebration. They wanted him there with them, their leader and symbol, their savior and their guide. And that he had not slept, and that he had craved the company of only a few of them, seemed to occur to no one. He must speak to the bereaved, clasp their hands, witness their tears, receive their thanks, hear the news now creeping in from every quarter as the morning drew on. Sorry for reading that, but everyone here likes Harry Potter, so I feel like you should want to hear that. Maybe not from my voice, but
not the first or last time you read it on this podcast either.
Definitely not the last.
Because it's so good.
He's literally the savior of the wizarding world. And the point of this is not to make fun of the movies, but every time I read this, all I can think about is Harry walking slowly down the Great Hall, and no one will look at him. No one will talk to him. He's a fungus.
So weird.
I hate that scene so much. No one even knows how Voldemort died because they did it all alone outside. No one sees the Death Eaters get defeated. I have no idea how the Battle of Hogwarts actually ended in all of their minds, but I hate that scene so much, and it's the greatest scene that in all the books, in my opinion.
It's fantastic.
It's a good one.
It's it's the 1-1. You got to take that one. So, but yeah, I'm interested where you go from this. Again, I didn't really order these as in my top 10, but if we're making a list, that has to be on there no matter what. So that's why I take it number 1.
Exactly. I tried to make this top 10, but I will change this at the drop of a hat to whatever I want it to be because this is way too hard. The next one I'm going to go with, William, is a classic that I think would make most people's list. And this is The Flight of the Weasley Twins when they leave school in the 5th book. It is so glorious. It is so incredible. I know I just read a lot, so I won't read too much. But literally every line from Fred and George is just peak. I am the alpha of alphas and no one can touch me. And as they're leaving and saying, yeah, don't bother to keep in touch. And Umbridge shrieking, stop them. And they say, give us hell from us, Peeves. And Peeves gives them the salute and they go off into glorious applause from the students below. And even the next chapter, they could like, it doesn't stop there. It continues of like, man, sometimes I just want to, hop on a broom and pull a Weasley and it's stuff of legend forever. It's the peak of all the things that they do. It's the swamp, it's the fireworks, it's everything. That's the culminating moment for them. And it's perfect.
It is perfect. It is an amazing moment. It was definitely I think I, like, in some ways enjoy that moment more than the finale just 'cause it's how much you hate Umbridge, you know?
True.
'Cause I respect Voldemort more than I respect her.
By a lot.
Um, I guess I wanna include it in the list, but, her getting carried off by rabid angry centaurs is a great moment too.
That's a good point. Or her getting kicked out by Peeves. I didn't include that on my list either. I feel like, can we capture that here of her smacking her with a sock full of chalk?
The whole thing, yeah, the whole thing is just great, like, yeah, and then, like, and then McGonagall's, like, walking stick, like, she lets Peeves borrow it to, like, whack her on the way out, you know?
Incredible. Incredible.
Um,
A must have in the HBO series.
McGonagall's the best.
You brought Peeves into the show. Now you must have Peeves here for this moment.
To whack Umbridge upside the head. That's a really good one. That's just an amazing moment.
It
Um,
is.
and in the remember in the movie, like, it ends and, like, uh well,
I'm
that
sure I
part
don't.
happens, and then he immediately, like, passes out into, uh,
Oh yeah, he's in
having
the
the
room.
nightmare.
He's like in the hall. Like that is truly the
Yeah,
next scene. That's bizarre.
yeah.
Incredible.
Also, I
Incredible.
watched the 6th movie with my kids the other day, with 2 of my
Sorry.
kids the other day. I forgot how awkward it was. Like, watching my 10-year-old and 8-year-old boy, like, so confused at, like, Ginny and Harry's, like, flirting. They're just
There's
looking
no
at it like,
flirting. There's
"Eh?"
no flirting at all.
No, there's not. There's not. They're, like, so confused. Like, one of them, like and they're on the staircase, one of them, like, put the covers over his head and was just like, "Oh my gosh," he, like, couldn't deal with it. He just threw the covers over his head and was like, "Uh."
We
It was
just
awesome.
finished both the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Mans, and there's top-notch flirting in that. So my kids will be ready when we watch the sixth one, and I don't know, 6 months from now, they will know how garbage that is because they will have seen some top-notch romance.
Real flirting and real
R-
death too.
R.I.P. Gwen. I had to warn Remy ahead of time, but Maisie, I just let it watch happen, and she did fine.
There you go. Alright, I'm going immediately off the board for my number 2, because this is one I thought about, and it's not I mean, it's a collection of moments, I guess, but I think it
Don't
really
cheat.
is one of the happiest times in the whole series, is when Harry gets to live in Diagon Alley at the Leaky Cauldron alone.
Interesting.
That happiness you feel from, like, him having
Mm,
freedom for the first time in his life outside of, like, school, you know? Like, he's
right.
fully independent and, like, he can go where he wants. He even talked about he's never had to be able to wake up when he wanted, go to bed when he want. Like, he's just doing whatever he wants, but, like, in this he has his control of his own world for the first time in his entire life. And it's amazing, like, people like him, he's a nice kid, like, they're giving him free ice cream, like, all that stuff, it's incredible, and I was thinking about, like, what is it? Because like, I was like, "Yeah, there's all these moments of, like" you could start naming off when they won this cup, won this, that, or the other, and those are gonna be on this list too, but, like, I really wanted to make sure this was on the list because I think I've re-listened to that chapter so many times, and that specific part is just amazing. Like, he's walking into the Quali Quidditch Surprise to look at the firebolt after he's been there a week and what shows up, like, it's awesome. I love that. It's like happiness. It's like a much deeper happiness than, like, just a moment. And you probably think I'm cheating or something, I don't know, but I
Well,
love that part, and I
this
think
is
it's one of the
greatest
happiest.
moments. So I don't know. You just said it's not a
Yeah,
moment, but I don't know. That's fair. This is we didn't put a box in this on
yeah.
purpose. What is that chapter called? I'm trying to think. We have the night bus, and then The Leaky Cauldron. What is that chapter
Uh,
called?
Diagonally?
Do we have 2 Diagon Alleys? 'Cause there's definitely a Diagon Alley in book 1.
No,
Can't be.
no. Cornelius Fudge.
No,
Let me
that's
try to
book 2.
find it.
Mhm.
Uh, the Leaky Cauldron. It's called
It
the
is the
Leaky
Leaky
Cauldron.
Cauldron. I'd like to say I said that. I mean, I wasn't confident, but I feel like I'd be pretty good at chapters, like, what chapter did this happen in? I feel like I've got the names down pretty good.
The Leaky Cauldron. Yeah. I don't know. I was just reading it here. It's like, never had before had been able to get up when he wanted or eat whatever he fancied. He could go wherever he pleased as long as it was in Diagon Alley and it was packed with the most fascinating wizard shops in the world. He felt no desire to break his word to Fudge. He ate every breakfast every morning. He people watched. I don't know. That one fills me with immense joy reading that chapter, and I regret nothing.
It's a good answer. I am a little worried that, like, something great is gonna be left off this list. I mean, listed a couple in rapid succession, so I'm getting nervous about what I should choose, so this list
Good.
has gotta be
Gotta
complete,
keep you on your
William.
toes.
I know. That's a great answer. Um, my next one, I mean, to your point, it just has to be taken. I feel like this is really an homage and similitude, a precursor to the final moment that we already mentioned of, again, just the order of operations of Harry being at the center of a celebration, and I'm doing winning the Quidditch Cup. Um, and again, it's a very similar scene. I'll just read a little bit where Harry threw himself forward, taking both hands off his broom. He knocked Malfoy's arm out of the way, and yes, pulled out of his dive, et cetera, et cetera. We've won the cup. We've won the cup. Wood was speeding toward him, half blinded by tears. He seized Harry around the neck and sobbed unrestrainedly on his shoulder. And then again, I just love it when it's just listing everything happening around Harry. Hagrid's being wait till I tell Buckbeak, which is actually just hilarious of Hagrid. The first thing he says is he can't wait to tell a hippogriff that won't understand it all. And Professor McGonagall was sobbing even harder than Wood, wiping her eyes with an enormous Gryffindor flag, fighting their way toward Harry. Where Ron and Hermione, words failed them. They simply beamed. As a sobbing Wood passed Harry the cup, he lifted into the air. Harry felt he could have produced the world's best Patronus. I mean, it's to your point. Harry has had a miserable life up till now. This is a question I asked you and Hunter. Name all of Harry's memories that he uses to create a Patronus or attempt to, and this is high on his list of or high on his moments of happy moments. There's several more that I want to make it on here, but this is like the peak. This is like, I don't know. I feel like this was the third book. The third book is one of the happiest books, right? It's pre-death, it's
Mhm.
pre-Voldemort returning. This is the peak of happiness for Harry, and it is literally downhill from here on out.
Yes, it is. This is definitely the best. Like, I think of any potential like Quidditch or House Cup moments, which this one's the best one for sure. That's what I think.
It is. It is, which is why I chose it here. Will I still just choose the House Cup next? Maybe. We'll see. But
We'll see
this
what
is
I choose.
glorious. I don't think you're choosing that, but I believe in you, William, and I support you no matter what.
So I went off the board because eventually I was going to choose one like that no matter what, and I just wanted to get it out of the way, right? I wasn't going to save it for last. I wanted to get it out of the way. But
Fair.
I think the next one I want to, I don't know. I kind of struggle with like, what do we consider like a happy moment or like intense? Like Bellatrix
Intense versus
dying
happy.
made me happy, but like I don't think that's in the spirit of this list necessarily.
I
Um,
I do not have Molly versus Bellatrix on my list, but as I was reading it, I was like, I think I should. Again, I also included fist pumping moment. I think that is the top three
I don't know,
fist
it's
pumping
kinda like
moment
it'd kinda
in
be
all
like a
7 books.
third list would be like all-time moments, like of any kind. All-time
Yeah,
all-time moments, times, events, whatever you wanna call it, and I would
that's
include
fair.
that one, but this one, I'm not doing that one just 'cause I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Alright, so I'm just going with, I'm gonna go back to book 3 though, and I'm gonna do Buckbeak and Sirius, The Escape. Like, when they finally get to him and, like, they I guess it's a culmination. I don't know. If I had to break it down into like
It's the moment
the
on the rooftop, right? I mean, it's the
yeah, like they finally they're like go go. Then like he had just finished. Like he had conquered everything. He had like done the Patronus. He had saved himself.
to your point,
They went through this
Harry's
weird
peak.
time travel journey. And like in Sirius is like, you're like your father, and like he's so proud of him. It's like this beautiful moment. And like and then, like, I'm including when they come back and Snape is just off the wall, like, because that's all, like, the same it's all the same event, right? It's all the same thing. I'm including, like, they get serious and then they race back and Snape loses it, and they got one over Snape, and that's hilarious and amazing, and Snape is just going ape and, like, just breaking and, like, screaming, and, like, they got one over him, and I think that's one of the happiest moments of the whole book and the whole series. It's
That was not on
yeah,
my list, but I do like it. To your point, it's the same reason why the Quidditch Cup is so great. It's Harry. This is again, it's the happiest Harry gets. There's a little bit of sadness at the end of the book, and obviously, then Lupin leaves, but it's by far the happiest ending to. I don't know if it's by far, but it's a happy ending to a book. Book two and book one, and mostly happy as well. But it's the last time we really have a good ending for Harry. We obviously go Cedric death, Sirius death, Dumbledore death, and death of everyone. So it's the last time we get to be happy at the end of a book. So it's a great choice. I get
sure.
it. I get it. Um, okay, William.
You sound disappointed if I'm being honest, but
I mean, it wasn't on my list, and I just wasn't thinking about it. I said positive words. Okay, what?
you did say positive words. You did.
I'm just. There's going to be things left off. I mean, to your point, it's like you've already said like Molly, so like that means like we also don't need to include like Neville chopping off Nagini's head because that's more like an all-time
Mhm.
moment and not a this is happy, right? Because then it's just the
Yeah.
whole Battle of Hogwarts. Then I also want to include like Creature just like coming out and being like, fight, fight for my
That's true.
master Regulus.
I was like, but then we were just listing off like everything in the Battle of Hogwarts
Right. So
because
we've
like it's
captured the Battle of Hogwarts in the true end of it, and we're not going
or
to
like even when
include
Harry like rips off his invisibility cloak, like that's a sick moment. Like
right.
that's like you weren't,
Right. Okay. So we're not including anything else from Battle of Hogwarts. Those are all-time moments, which maybe we come back and then we have to really rank them because that's the only way that would be fun because I feel like we'd all have the same stuff, but it'd have to be a true ranking
That's
of
true. That
which
would be a
ones.
true right. We'd have to be like, nope, this is my number one moment.
Right. Right.
I agree with
Maybe we
that.
can come back. Okay.
I agree with
I
that.
like where we're headed. I like your picks more now that I don't have to include because really again, the same thing I did when we did a chapters draft, my top 4 chapters were just The Prince's Tale, The Forest Again, you know, The Flaw in the Plan, and King's Cross. So, um, you know, I can't do that. That's stupid. But those actually are, and so my top 3 were, the actual end, Neville killing Nagini, and the Battle of Hogwarts. So don't not including those. I feel great. This is the best draft ever, and I believe I'm up for number 6. Number 6, I'm gonna go with again a collection of moments, a chapter, if you will, and this chapter is after the
Event.
burial. Yes, it is an event, and it is not the chapter called Felix Felicis, but is when Harry takes Felix Felicis. It is one of the most fun things in all 7 books by a lot, and so many wonderful things happen. He obviously achieves what he's going for, which is to get the memory from Slughorn, but so many other wonderful things happen. It just starts off with him, again, as it's described as an exhilarating sense of infinite opportunity stole through him. Uh, he felt as though he could have done
Oh,
anything at all.
to feel
Getting
that.
the how William feels every day, how Jude Bellingham feels when
Yeah, when they're singing "Hey Jude" to him
exactly.
after
I
a win.
I don't care about him. Getting getting the memory from Slughorn seemed suddenly not only possible but positively easy. It's just such a wonderful description. And then the first thing that happens is, Lavender sees only Ron and Hermione up in the dorm because Harry's under the invisibility cloak. So they break up while he's gone. Then he accidentally brushes Ginny and she yells at Dean. Dean's like, "What the heck? I'm not doing
Fragile
anything."
relationship.
They also break up. I mean, everything is just it's a perfect chapter. And
It is. It's great. It's great.
Harry just saying it would be laughable to think that he might not be able to pull off the refilling charm with without even speaking the incantation, as Harry just grins to himself and performs it easily. It's a
Yeah,
perfect chapter. So happy, so awesome.
it's like when you're it felt like, he was like a human personification of, like, the NBA hang time when you get on fire. "He's
Yes,
heating up. He's on fire."
yes, and then you're
Kevin
just
Harlan's
doing
voice, what
yes, you're just
"He's
doing
on fire."
somersault 3-point dunks, and you can't be stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're Reggie from 3. That's me and my brother used to say. We'd be Reggie Miller, we'd go to the corner and shoot threes. We invented the corner 3 back in
That's a
the
good
day.
point, actually. Eric was always Reggie, and we were never on the same team, and I was always just trying to punch Reggie in the face, and I hate Reggie Miller so much.
Yeah,
Shout out
but I
Eric.
would always, like, be Reggie Miller and run to the corner and shoot threes.
Yes, and then you do a little leaning sideways 3
Yeah. Yeah, they'd go in and you'd be like, "He's on fire. He's
every
on
freaking time.
fire."
We just do nothing
But
but
that's how Harry
goaltending.
felt, essentially. He was in the zone, and it was amazing.
It's
So,
incredible. Peak of peak.
that's a great one. Everything
Thank you.
about that is fantastic. Alright, my next one, um,
This is number 7, so we got 4 more.
I have 2 more. I have 2 more to pick, this one and another one.
Correct.
Okay, then I'm gonna use this one how I want. But I do think this stands up as, like, a happy moment, although I think it's one you may not have thought of.
I hope
Uh,
it's on my board.
in book 2, when
Nope.
they show up with the flying car and they get him out, they jailbreak him. It's so awesome. It's so happy. Like, they imagine, like, you're in a 12-year-old and, like, your friend shows up in a flying car and they yank the jail bars off your window, and your aunt and uncle, you wave out the window at them, "Don't bother calling," like, it's amazing. It's, like,
It is.
truly happy. He's literally a child that they have broken out of prison, and that's why they didn't actually get that much trouble, because they were literally holding a child against his will in incarceration, in captivity. So, I think that's one of the happiest moments in the whole series. I I stuck to, I guess, moment, more heavy on moment for that one,
That's good.
but
Moments are good. This is a good point.
let's see.
I'm gonna sound disappointed yet again because again, just wasn't even close to sniffing my list. But as I think about
That's the
it,
point, though. We're different people. We're different people. We have different ideas.
but you should be me, more like me. Um, no, this is good. It's good because again, we talked about saddest moments, and on my honorable mention was Harry sitting on a bench by himself, singing "Happy Birthday to Me, Happy Birthday to Me," and being miserable. Again, he knew how to be miserable before, but then he found happiness through friends, and then that was taken away from him, and it all comes roaring back so powerfully in this moment to say, not
Kind of
only
the
was my
magic of
friend,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's also because it's the second book, and so, like, you don't imagine, like, when you only had read the first one, remember back to when you'd only read the first one, the wizard world wasn't this giant thing yet, and then all of a sudden in the first book, within the first couple chapters, you're like, "There's a flying car, and they've broken him out of the Bursley's house." Like, it's awesome. It's
it
so
is.
and then, honestly, the happiest moment is when they actually go back to and he is part of a loving family for the first time in his life, you know?
It's true. The
They
first
break
time
him
at the
out.
Burrow first time at the Burrow is all-time great. It's not as good as, like, first time in Diagon Alley, but it's close. It's pretty amazing.
It's the first time in his life he's ever been loved. Hi. By caretakers, aside
That
from when he was a baby. Like,
that one glorious
he's in the custody of people who actually love him and care for him as a human.
it was a glorious
Never
16
had it.
months. Glorious.
Yeah,
Alright,
but I don't
William.
know. I love
It's a
that
good
moment.
pick.
I think it's great. And also, we gotta give some love to book 2 because book 2 is clearly the least
It's
loved of all the books.
a good point. Fair point. I like where your head's at. You've got one more. I feel like you're gonna pick chalk on that, so I will,
Go for it.
uh
It's also entirely possible, like, I just literally didn't think of, like, one of the most obvious ones because, like, I don't know. That's not how my brain works sometimes, you know? Like, you make a list, you're like, "Oh, all these moments," and then you're like, "I forgot that one." Like, it's not
It's funny that you
I don't
say
know.
that. I feel like I've never actually felt that way in my life. Every time I make a list, I'm like, my list is perfect and everyone else's list sucks. So I actually can't really empathize with that.
Yeah. Supreme confidence.
I'm just kidding. But what do you think are the top 10 Nicolas Cage movies? Can you make that list? Don't answer that. Booge was so excited and then came with literally nothing. What a loser. He's the worst. All right. I, for number 8, I am going to
I
go
think
with
he's
book
gonna hear
5.
that.
Nope, he's never going to hear that because he doesn't love or support anyone but his own body and immediate
Bass
family.
fishing in Montana.
Exactly. He's looking so hot right now. It's ridiculous. Okay. I'm going book 5 again. Book 2 gets a lot of hate. Book 5 also gets a lot of hate. This is one of my, we've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't know how to use that phrase
Oh,
or
I
if I
know where
said it
you're going.
correctly.
I know where you're going.
I'm going with In the Hogshead. I think In the Hogshead is a culmination of 5 books. It's a summary of 5 incredible moments or 4 incredible moments from the previous 4 books. And again, I am fist pumping actually during the scene. I am filled with happiness as so many, again, we get to see what Harry's peers actually think of him. I'm just going to read because that's what I love to do.
This is great. This is great.
After Susan Bones asked him about the Patronus, it goes, blimey, Harry, said Lee, looking deeply impressed. I never knew that. Mom told Ron not to spread it around, said Fred, grinning at Harry. She said you get enough attention as it was. She's not wrong, mumbled Harry, and a
He's
couple of
not
people
wrong.
laughed. The veiled witch sitting shifted slightly. Is Mundungus laughing over there? Is he
Just
laughing?
trying to get a good. Fred and George, he need to borrow some extendable ears.
True. And did you kill a basilisk with a sword in Dumbledore's office? Demanded Terry Boot. That's what one of the portraits on the wall told me when I was in there last year.
I want to know what Terry Boot did to have to go to Dumbledore's office.
He's a bad boy. Very bad boy. Yeah, that's a good
Done
question.
something.
I agree. Yeah, I did, said Harry. Justin Finch Fletchley, can't say his name, whistled. The Creevy brothers exchanged awestruck looks, and Lavender Brown said, wow, softly. Harry was feeling slightly hot around the collar now. He was determinedly looking anywhere but at Cho. And in our first year, said Neville to the group at large, he saved that sorceress stone. Sorcerer, Sister Mighty. Yeah, that from you know who, finished Neville. Hannah Abbott's eyes were as round as galleons. And that's not to mention, said Cho, blah, 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 all the amazing things he did in the Triwizard Tournament. There was a murmur of impressed agreement around the table. It's just, again, we love this boy, Harry Potter, and his life sucks, and all of his classmates hate him to his own. That's what he believes his perception is. Everyone hates him and thinks he's insane. And here are 25 normal, good witches and wizards his own age who are like, actually, Harry is the freaking man, and I will follow him into battle and die for him. R.I.P.
Well, I think this just proves how prescient and wise Lockhart was. Fame's a fickle friend, Harry. Celebrity is as celebrity does. And that's so true about Harry because right now they do. But guess what? They've also spent every other book like hating him, loving him, hating him, loving him.
Especially the Hufflepuffs. He's good to be on good terms with Ernie and Justin and Hannah.
They're flip-floppers.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. So
but
anyways,
by this time is like
show.
when they went to his side for good. And like it is a true show of like, man, it's like everyone just like being like the stats are undeniable. Like you can't
inarguable.
Too much. Like what are you gonna do?
I love this moment.
Like you can argue who's the best. Like, well, that kid's done all this. The rest of us have done nothing. So
I will learn from him. Older kids, 6 years, 7th years. I don't know if there's any 7th years. Probably not. 6 years. No, Fred and George are in their 7th year, right? So it's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. I love this. Love this chapter so much. So that's what I got in the Hogshead. Number 8. What's your last pick, William?
I'm going to go with the House Cup in the first book. Just keep it easy. It's such a great moment.
There's Remus.
What are you doing, dog? You're not allowed on beds.
He looks good up there. It's good background.
Yeah, he can hang out. Anyway, the House Cup in the first book, the moment like where you get to wipe the smile, like Draco gets got, like the whole thing about it is perfect, and she set it up so perfect with like Neville getting the points Neville's to win it, right?
Yes.
Neville's the key. It's like it's funny because like Dumbledore, Dumbledore was like, I'm gonna do this, and he like figured the math out ahead of time, and he was like he's like a WWE, he's like it was all scripted. Like he made sure like he could have given these points out any time, right? Like the points could have been given out well before, but they did not. And he's like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It was all scripted. He's like Vince McMahon, writing the script. And he did it perfect. It was well done. And the joy of that moment, at the end of a first book, A+.
It is an
Can't
A
say
plus.
anything bad about that entire end of the book. It's great.
It is an A plus. I'll try not to read the whole thing, but is there a better line from Dumbledore? There are, but just like the fear that this had to drive into everyone's hearts of I have a few last minute points to dish out is just such a great line. As you
I know,
said,
he did
why do
it
you
too,
wait?
just to be mean to the Slytherins, right? Like,
He
he
literally is
definitely
congratulating the Slytherins right before that.
he's like, "Yeah, but I mean, he's a Dumbledore is a peacock. He's got flair, you know?
he, I, I say I try not to read it, but I just can't. I don't care. I love reading
It's an addict for dramatics."
it. There are all
Quote,
kinds
"Check him
of
back
courage.
someday."
There are all kinds of courage, said Dumbledore. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. I therefore award 10 points to Mr.
Ours.
Neville Longbottom. Someone standing outside the Great Hall might have well thought some sort of explosion had taken place. So loud was the noise that erupted from the Gryffindor table. What does it say? Neville, white with shock, disappeared under a pile of people hugging him. He had never won so much as a point for Gryffindor before. It was the best evening of Harry's life, better than winning at Quidditch or at Christmas or knocking out mountain trolls. He would never, ever forget tonight. Again, this is on his list of
Great one.
Patronus moments. It's again, he's literally calling it the best night of his life. It'd be hard not to include that poor little orphan 11-year-old boy. This is the best night of his life. Let's give it to him. It's got to be number 9. Good pick, William. I was
Absolutely.
fairly certain you were going to pick that, so thank you very much.
I couldn't disappoint you.
I have 4 to choose from now at this point. And I wish you could choose it for me. I know that you cannot. The other ones will have to just be honorable mentions. I think I might go in the order. No, I'm gonna not go in order.
I bet you're gonna do Ron and Hermione's kiss.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing any more Battle of Hogwarts. What I was debating between was Harry and Ginny's kiss and the first task. And I think I'm going to go with the first task. I think that.
I think defeating a dragon is much better than macking on a girl.
Okay, finally, like admitting to the love of your life that you love her is kind of a big deal. And I like that moment. But I will go with. I thought your face was saying the opposite, but I will go with the first task. It's just incredible. You truly have no idea what's going to happen. Again, going back to your point before you've really read this, you really have no idea how it's going to go down. And there's just when he says Accio Firebolt, and you're just waiting, but then he hears it speeding through the air behind him. He swings his leg over the broom as he soars upward. He's just on a broom again. He left not only the ground behind, but also his fear. And then Bagman, great Scott, he can fly. You can say it in good accent.
Seeing this, Mr. Crumb.
Exactly.
Great Scott, he can fly.
I knew
Are you seeing this, Mr. Crumb?
And then Bagman goes on to say, look at that. Bagman was yelling, will you look at that? Our youngest champion is the quickest to the egg. Well, this is going to shorten the odds on Mr. Potter, his own odds, which he was very happy about. It's just incredible. Again, same situation where Harry is just getting crapped on. This is, again, another Hogshead moment, in my opinion. Harry's life sucks. He's at the lowest of low. He doesn't even have Ron as a friend. And then he does this. He leaves all his problems behind. He gets to the ground. Ron is there. Life is good again. He can do literally anything with Ron on it. There's so many sad lines, which maybe could have made some of these of just like, he could have dealt with anything if he had Ron by his side, and how hard it is for Harry to live life without his number one, which brings me back to why Ron abandoned him in the 7th book. But anyways, it's just a great moment, and I love it.
Horcrux. But yeah, he's definitely, things have been really bad. And then like finally they, like after the first half, you're like, this is not going to be that bad. What's worse than dragons?
Exactly.
And frankly, the dragon is by far the worst of all the tasks, except for the part where like it was a secret Horcrux, and I mean a Portkey, and you got taken to the graveyard and your friend got killed. But like individually, if someone told me like you have to pick one of these tasks to do, I would definitely take the dragon last. I do not want. That's so much scarier than the
Horrifying.
other ones, I feel
It's incredible
like a
that they all
dragon would be
survived.
I'd be like, I'll take my chances and just send up sparks and quit in the maze or something, but whatever. uh and like diving deep into a murky lake.
You already do that. You would have been well primed for that. You had your equipment ready.
Yeah, except when I've been scuba diving, it's in crystal clear water in Mexico, and it's beautiful. So,
You'll be fine. You have a light.
uh, yeah. Anyway, but great moment, great thing to overcome, great choice. The list is amazing.
That's our top 10. It's hard to summarize. We didn't have like a Cassie didn't have like a clip of like, here's the 10 list. I don't know how to actually do that. So basically people have to come and watch the full YouTube video and then tell us what we might have missed. William,
Mhm.
what didn't make it on that you maybe had an honorable mention?
Um, I mean, like, you're a wizard, Harry, I guess. Like,
That was my
that's
number
a
11.
but it just kinda the context of it doesn't really it's happier in retrospect, but in the moment, less so,
There's
right?
the happy part
Um,
is Harry looked back at Hagrid smiling and saw that Hagrid was positively beaming at him, just like him realizing like, "Hey,
right.
I got this, dog. I got this." Is a great moment. I think it didn't crack my
Um,
top 10. I'm not sad it didn't make it, but it was definitely on my list.
yeah, I think Hermione him slapping Draco,
Ah, that's a good one. Not on my
um,
list. That's a great one though.
that's a good one. Um,
Pip slapping.
that's a satisfying moment. That's a really good
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
creature leading
Yes. Fight for my
the
master,
hog the
Regulus.
elves.
That is yes.
Dumbledore, it's not as, like, happy, it's just cool, like, Dumbledore, like, taking out everyone and being like, "I'm not going quietly." Like, "I'm definitely not going to Azkaban,"
This would be on
you
our
know?
all-time list for sure.
Um, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, what
I
about you?
again, I had the Harry and Ginny kissing. She had a hard, blazing
Yeah,
look in
that
her
is a good
face
one.
as she threw her arms around him without thinking, without planning it, without worrying about the fact that 50 people were watching. Harry kissed her. It's pretty awesome.
Harry's not super experienced either, so, like, bold move.
It's probably
Like,
pretty. It's true. Ginny's. I
he's
mean,
only
we all.
basically, like, had 1 kiss with Cho.
It's true, and it was wet. So I don't know. Maybe he was practicing with
I love
pigwish
that
like
line,
Ron.
they're like, "Was I that bad? Was I that bad?
Maybe I
You
was
think
that
you're a
bad.
bad kisser?" Like,
Who does
Hermione's
kiss?
like, "You morons."
It is
That was
a great
great.
scene. It was fun
And
reading that to
that
myself.
is a really happy moment. I made fun of it earlier, but that is a really happy moment, and so is, Ron, kissing Hermione. That's a super happy moment.
It is.
Um,
Those are both good honorable mentions,
it's
both
one that
worthy of
feels,
being
like,
here.
kinda corny, but, like, definitely worth happening, you know? They
Agreed.
clearly are in love, and,
But
you
what
know
about the house elves? We should send them to fight? No. It's it is good.
get
It
him
is
out.
great. Way
Yeah.
better than making out in the movie right after Hermione kills a Horcrux and then they get all soaking wet. So yeah, way better than that. The only other one I have, again, I really kind of went through like Harry's Patronus thoughts of things he tried to do and him flying on a broom for the first time. Uh, both, it's just
Yeah, that's a good
internally
one.
happy. Like this, Harry thinking to himself, this was easy. This
He
was
finally
wonderful.
found something he could do without
Exactly.
trying.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
then the entire moment of McGonagall coming and he caught that thing in his hand after a 50-foot dive, didn't even scratch himself. Charlie Weasley couldn't have done it, becoming the youngest seeker in 100 or player in 100 years. It's a glorious moment. Glorious. That's what I got, William. That's what I got. I definitely would have added a couple of those. Ron and Hermione's kiss should have been on my list. There's a couple. I liked everything you brought to the table. Again, we have a well-rounded list. Those on YouTube, those in Spotify, Apple. Let us know what we missed. What moments did we miss of happiest,
Yeah.
glorious moments in Harry Potter history? And maybe we'll come back with an all-time list. But William, I think what we're going to do next week is a worst chapters of all time. And of course, we love all of Harry Potter. So these are just going to be, again, by default, our least favorite chapters. And it'll be a lot of fun. let's do another top 10. Let's keep the superlatives going. And I had a blast. Anything to add before we do Fred versus George?
I got nothing.
William, you're welcome for this. This is a portion of a level 6 question from the game The Much Needed Book Only Ultimate Unofficial Harry Potter Trivia. In case you're unaware, it's a game about Harry Potter and it's trivia. And if you like Harry Potter, you should buy it. So that'd be great. You can buy it on Amazon or ultimateharrypottertrivia.com. William, I'm not going to give you the whole question, but I am going to give you the easiest Fred or George that you will ever get from me. And you're welcome. Who takes Angelina to the Yule Ball, Fred or George?
Fred.
Fred is, of course, correct, taking you from 87% to 87.5%. William, that's an easy question. We also have, the full question is name 10 student couples that go to the Yule Ball together. I think I've read that over the internet at least like 6 times now because it's one of my favorite questions. Super fun. And shout out to anyone who ever gets, Stebbins and Fawcett. Just an incredible pull.
Yeah.
And
Stebbins, they were having a great time, Stebbins and Fawcett.
Miss Fawcett is a beast, let me tell you. She tried to sneak into the Triwizard tournament. She is making out at the Yule Ball. Her parents are poor, and she couldn't go to the Triwizard, or she couldn't go to the Quidditch World Cup. And she got a bloody nose at the dueling practice with Lockhart. She needs to be a character in the HBO show. She's got some spunk, this girl. William, I do have another question for you, though. When Fred and Angelina are dancing so exuberantly that people are making space for fear of injury, what kind of dancing do you picture them doing?
Just like waving, something like really like violent with like waving their arms around. I don't think it would be anything gross in nature. You know what I mean? Like I don't think like
I think that Fred is bending her over, and they are just. I think that Lil Jon and the East Side Boys are playing, and they are just going at it. They are just ready to get a room, and they are just going so hard.
I guarantee you, Ilvermorny parties are way better than Hogwarts parties.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know
because there's no way America has such a bigger population than Britain that like there's gonna be way more Muggle-borns, and like some Muggle-born from like Baton Rouge be like, y'all got to hear this music, or someone from like in the '90s it would be like y'all be some Muggle-born from Houston and be like, y'all got to check out UKG, UGK. Sorry, you ever heard of Bun B?
Exactly. That's all I picture. They're bringing Tupac and Biggie. That's all I picture is just Get Low is on, and they're just going buck wild in the middle of the dance floor, and nobody knows what to do. That's what I picture.
The Weird Sisters could never compete.
I know, but Fred's just like, I don't know. Fred just does whatever he wants, and Angelina's.
I always imagine, truthfully, I always imagine it's some kind of like mosh pit type thing, just being idiots. Just
I like your
maybe to the window to the wall. I don't know what they were doing, right? They were just like,
mosh pit is the answer. That's what they show in the movie. It's just like everybody jumping and bouncing, but mosh pit's the answer for sure. But I like to think they're getting low.
I would imagine Dumbledore says like music is a magic that transcends everything they do at Hogwarts, right? So I imagine like at Ilvermorny, like rap and stuff is like a real thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. William, that's what we got today. I had a great time. Can't wait to do it again next week. And we also have our short podcast on Thursday. William, I found another plot hole, so we're going to do one more plot hole. Be there on Thursday if you want to hear it.
Joy.
Deuces, Half-Bloods.